Lie to y'all, I've been a little bit of a hypocrite. And if you've been watching my content for a while, I've been talking a lot about having an attitude of gratitude. And I was on the phone the other day with a really good friend of mine who I just rekindled my relationship with. And he asked me a really interesting question. He asked me, because he follows my content and he just joined into my program, and he was like, well, what are the things that you're pretty confused about right now? Because obviously I'm still human, despite the fact that maybe I make these videos on social media and I've done fairly well for myself. And, on the outside looking in, it might look as if I've got it all figured out. I know some people inside of my coaching programs or that are close to me look at me and they think that I live this like perfect life. And sometimes, I'm not going to lie, I'm guilty of trying to put on this front that I have it all figured out and that I live this perfect life. But in reality, I'm just as lost as everybody else. And the reason why I started off this video by saying that I was a hypocrite is because I was on the phone with this friend and he was saying, like, what are the things that you're confused about? And I was like, well, I'm not going to lie to you, dude. Like, sometimes I feel like I get these visions of like helping millions of people, and I feel like God is giving me these visions that I need to pursue. And I was never very spiritual, and now I'm learning to develop my relationship with God and figure out how I can communicate with him. And I'm like, I don't know if these visions that I'm having are from God or if it's just my ego. And so we get into it. And I was like, dude, I want to help millions of people. Like, I want to have millions of followers on social media, and I want to write books and speak on stages, and I want to do all these things. And he's like, well, dude, if you really want to help people, like, think about all the people that you're already helping right now. And I was like, well, what do you mean? And so we were at dinner for my birthday. And we were just going around talking about things that we were grateful for, right? And which is so ironic. And we get to one of my clients who has become a really good friend of mine, and like, he has just treated me like gold. And every single time we get on a call, he says, "Thank you for your time," despite the fact that he pays me for my time. He's just that type of guy. And we go, "What are you most grateful for?" And his wife is sitting there pregnant, and they like get all teary-eyed and start talking about how grateful they are that I've helped them make money so that way his wife doesn't have to work, he can spend more time with his kids, he can really live out like this ideal vision of his life. And they're sitting there like about to cry at my birthday dinner in front of my team is there, my clients are there, things like that. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like it was incredible. And in the moment, like, it was pretty cool to know that I've impacted him in that way. But then you get out of that moment and you get back into the real world and you start thinking about your goals, and you're like, oh, how can I help a million people? Like, what I'm doing right now is not enough. I need to do more. And when my friend on the phone, brought that up, I was like, dude, I had to take a hard look in the mirror, because he checked me. I don't think he really meant to check me like that. I think he was really trying to help me, but I took it as, wow, I'm getting hard checked right now, because I'm sitting here thinking about the people that I haven't helped and all the people that I want to help, when I forgot to just be appreciative for the people's lives that I'm changing right now. And even, I'm traveling right now. I'm in New York. Before I was in Austin, Texas, and I was in Nashville, and I was in Chicago. And I still find myself saying like, oh, dude, I wish I would have been in like a nicer place. I wish I was doing this or doing that. And I find myself so easily focusing on the things that I don't have, that I forget to focus on the things that I do. And I forget to be so incredibly grateful for this amazing life that I live. And I find that when I don't create the separation and the space in my life to really just let things come to me, and when I'm journaling, like I'm moving really fast right now, and I'm very grateful for the fact that I know people all over the country. And so, I'm just bouncing from meeting to meeting to meeting, seeing old friends and this and that. And, it's very easy for me to get into this headspace where I'm like, oh, dude, like, why does everybody want to talk to me? Like, this is so annoying. Like, why can't I just, and it sounds like saying it out loud. I'm like, dude, Nick, you sound like a douchebag right now. But this is really like the internal dialogue that sometimes I fight. And it's incredibly humbling to have so many amazing connections all over the country, and that I get to reconnect with old friends, and that I get to hang out with my clients, and I get to travel, and I'm in New York to see my sister in a play, and I see my parents, and it's Father's Day tomorrow, and it's like there's so much to be grateful for. But it all depends on what you choose to look at. I could focus on all the things that I don't have right now. And, I even have clients that do this where they're like, oh, Nick, like your business is making all this money. You have all this freedom. Like it's so easy for you to say, oh, wow, like, this life is amazing. But the only reason why I've been able to create this life and come to these conclusions is because I focused on it. Because there was a moment in time where my business was making $100,000 a month and I was depressed. Or what, doctors would call depressed. And so I'm trying to pass this lesson on to anybody who wants to listen, but particularly the younger version of me, who's a little bit earlier on in the journey, who's maybe finding a little bit of success, or maybe doesn't have the success that they want right now and feels stuck. And the reason why you feel stuck is because you're placing so much importance on these things like being able to travel more, being able to make more money or whatever, that you forget to just be grateful for the life that you're living today. And when you learn to do that, that is when the entire world will open up for you. That is when you'll have an abundant mindset. You'll start seeing colors brighter. You'll start being more friendly in conversation. People will start being way more attracted to you when you finally understand this concept. I never used to get approached by women at all. I never used to have great conversations with random people on the street. I was just a hermit and I was contractual. I felt like I had to hold on to everything. I was scared to lose everything. And I was like, when I'm making $250,000 a month, then I'm going to be happy. Then, chicks are going to DM me on Instagram or whatever it was that I wanted. And none of those things are true. I got pretty fired up there for a second, but I wanted to make this video because it is so easy to focus on the things that we don't have, but whatever you focus on, you're going to get more of, right? And so if we're focusing on the things that we don't have, then we're going to perpetually feel as if there's not enough, and we're going to be scared, constantly in a scarcity mindset. But if we're focusing on the things that we have, and every single thing that you can be grateful for, you put your attention towards and you go, wow, how amazing is this? It is a choice. And if you decide to make that choice, having an attitude of gratitude and a mentality of abundance, that is when you'll get everything you want. But until you do that, you're trapped in a prison. Trust me, I've been there. So this obviously wasn't recorded on a Friday. I missed last Friday, but you know what? I'm traveling, I'm living my life. I'm having the best time in the entire world. So thank you guys so much if you're still watching this. I make these videos because I want to just have the biggest impact and share as much game as I possibly can. And so this is my way of doing that. So happy whatever day you guys are watching this, y'all. Catch you in the next one. Peace.